Hello, Senior One, how are you? Today we are going to talk about the complementary genes. The complementary genes, from its name, we can deduce that it is an interaction of gene, yani another form of interaction of gene. Okay, these genes which interact with each other, causing appearance of a hereditary traits, another hereditary traits. So the complementary of genes, they are the genes that work together to emerge a specific trait. They work together to produce or emerge a specific trait where the inheritance of this trait is controlled by two pairs of genes. يعني الcondition اللي لازم must be present in the complementary gene is that it is controlled by two pairs of genes, not only one pair. Okay, and the dominant trait appears if every pair of genes has at least one dominant gene. Okay, so the dominant required the appearance of a dominant gene in each pair of the genes. Okay, and otherwise the opposite recessive trait will appear. If there is no dominant gene in each pair, يبقى a recessive gene will appear. Okay, so let's start to know the flowers color of sweet pea plant. What is the complementary genes present in this type of pea plant, sweet pea plant? The inheritance of the flower color, this pea color plant in the sweet pea plant is an example of complementary gene, where the pink color of the flower is the dominant trait, while the white color is the recessive trait. So when I say the pink color is the dominant and the white is the recessive, so how can I write it? How can I write it? Okay, and how can I know that the color gene which one is dominant and the other is recessive? طالما قلت dominant و recessive يبقى I will donate them by capital and small. Okay, a color trait is controlled زي عشان هي complementary gene controlled by two pairs of genes. يعني أنا لازم أكتب pair of genes, gene and gene. Okay, إيه هما الجينز دولت؟ I will donate them one of by A and the other by B. Okay, دولت الدوميننت. So what about the recessive? Recessive أكيد هياخدوا small letter يبقى A small and B small. So how can I write those complementary genes of the pea plant color? The flowers of the pea plant color. Here, when the two white colors, I will write it بقى ازاي؟ انا عارفه ان انا خلاص I will write them both. I have one dominant ده gene and the other one is another gene. Okay, دول both of them both of them are called complementary genes. Okay, if الوايت plant زي ما قلنا الوايت is recessive يبقى هنا هو دي white ولا pink؟ of course white. ليه؟ because هنا one of them is dominant and the other is recessive. So معنى كده ان هي طالما ما اخدتش dominant here and dominant here, at least one here and one here, يبقى both of them يبقى دي is recessive gene. When a white flower copulate or crossed, 100% pink flowers are produced in the first generation, while both pink and white flowers will appear in the second generation at ratio 9 to 7. So this is another information for the complementary gene that the second generation will emerge with 9 to 7 ratio 9 to 7, 9 dominant to 7 recessive. The appearance of the pink color, which is a dominant trait in the sweet plant, depends on the aggregation of one or more dominant genes in each pair because both dominant genes participate in the formation of pink color. يبقى أنا I have لازم يكون عندي one dominant here and one dominant there في الجينز. ليه؟ لأن this is the complementary gene both of them participate in the formation of the pink color, which is the dominant gene. Okay, each gene controls the production of certain enzyme. اشمعنى؟ لأن each gene منهم each gene الجين ده and the other gene, both of them control the production of certain enzyme. يعني I have both of them interact with each other to produce certain enzyme and thus form the pink color. This example proves the complementation of genes or the complementary of genes, as we can get the dominant trait from two fathers, each one of them carry the recessive trait. From two parents, not fathers, yani from two parents, each one of them carry the recessive trait. The ratio of the second generation according to Mendel's law مفروض في العادي خالص في اللي هو لما كان ال law of aggregation of two traits was 1 to 3 to 3 to 9, while that according to the complementary gene, which is a non-Mendelian trait, is 7 to 9 or 9 to 7 according to the dominant and the recessive. طب يلا بينا, let's see how can I write them and how can I cross them. Here is a white flower. Here is a white flower. White flower, which is, I can write it as A capital, B, B small, B small. يبقى دي white على طول. We can cross it with another white flower. This is a white flower again. Okay. A small, B capital, B capital. both of them when I get the gene ازاي باخد الجاميت. I will take one of the A and one of the B. يعني هناخد كده by the arrows كده and كده. Okay, هناخد only one of them, have the number A, B small, A capital, B small, and هنا A small, B capital. When we cross them هنرجع تاني في الكروسنج نجمع ال A's مع بعضيها وال B's مع بعضيها, يبقى A capital, A small, B capital, B small, which is a pink flower. طيب when we بقى cross these two pink flowers, هنعمل crossing لل two pink flowers, هناخد الجاميتس. يلا حد يقول الجاميتس هنا A capital, B capital, A capital, B small, A small, B capital, A small, B small. This is the gamete. A capital, B capital, A small, B capital, A small, B capital, A small, B small. Again, the other pink flower, I will write it by A كده vertical, one horizontal and the other vertical. Okay, this one of the male and the other is female. Write the same, A capital, B capital, A capital, B small, A small, B capital, A small, B small. And then I will start to cross them. يعني بعمل ايه؟ بجمع the A with each other and the B with each other. ال A's مع بعضيها وال B's مع بعضيها. يلا نشوف ال A capital, A capital, B capital, B capital, A capital, A capital, B capital, B small, A capital, A small, B capital, B capital, A capital, A small, B capital, B small. Okay, the second one, A capital, A capital, B capital, B small. بنكتب الكابيتال before the small. A capital, A capital, B small, B small. A capital, A small, B capital, B small. A capital, A small, B small, B small. Okay, the other one, A capital, A small, B capital, B capital. A capital, A small, B capital, B small. A small, A small, B capital, B capital, A small, B capital, B small. The last one, A capital, A small, B capital, B small, A capital, A small, B small, B small, A small, B capital, B small, and the last one is A small, B capital, B capital. Let's see بقى. When I say a pink color يبقى at least one dominant in each gene. One dominant in each gene. هنا all of them are dominant. All of them capital. All of them are dominant. يبقى دي أكيد the first one is a pink. طب أهي one here is dominant, two here is dominant, and هنا only one is dominant. يبقى أهو 3 dominant. يبقى عندي دي another pink. one dominant here and two dominants there، يبقى ادي برضو again pink. one dominant في الجين الأولاني and in the second gene another one dominant، يبقى هنا ايه pink color. okay another one هنا 3 dominant اهي dominant في ال first one 2 with the second one only one dominant، يبقى بالتالي pink. هنا بقى start with هنا ان هنا only one dominant here but there is no dominancy in the second gene, so this is a white color. Here one dominant in the first gene and the other gene has only one dominant، يبقى برضو adds pink color. Here بقى a only one dominant in one gene. Here 3 dominants here، another one هنا dominant in the first gene and dominant in the second gene، يبقى pink. هنا بقى the first gene is recessive and the second one هو الdominant، يبقى برضو دوت white لأن I have I need one dominant in each gene. Here is the first one is recessive and the other one is برضو has only one dominant، فبرضو ايه I can pronounce it by الجينوتايب بتاعها is white color. okay here is one gene here is dominant and the other gene has only one dominant، يبقى برضو pink. we have at least dominant in each gene. Here only one is dominant في A and the other is recessive, so here is A معنى كده انها white. Here برضو again ال first gene recessive and the second gene has only one dominant، يبقى دي white. هنا all of them are recessive، يبقى they are white. Okay, let's back count. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 9 flowers are pink and 7 flowers are white. Okay, يلا let's make an example. Determine the phenotype. الphenotype يعني I need to know pink or white, and the genotype يعني I need to write them, of the color of the flower produced from the copulation of A capital A small B small B small with the A small B capital B small. ايه بقى I will found ايه اهي I will write it كده and then I will write the gametes. الجاميتس ايه هعمل ايه هاخد ال A capital مع ال B small. A capital مع ال B small هاخد only one of them and A small مع B small وهحطهم برضو في circles. هنا A capital B A small sorry B capital and هنا A small B small and I will A put them in circles, then I will cross them هعمل crossing them. A capital مع هنا crossing the first one A capital A small B capital B small. We write the capital before the small ما ننساش. okay ال A capital هنا the other one A capital A small B small B small. ها A small B capital B small. ها A capital A small B small B small. ها تعالوا نشوف which one of them is pink and which one is white. هنا the only one which has dominant in both genes هي the first one. هنا dominant here and dominant there. هنا pink. لكن هنا only one dominant الباقي recessive. هنا برضو only one dominant الباقي recessive. هنا all of them are recessive. So هنا لما اجي اقول الphenotype I have one pink to 3 white. Okay, another example when we cross A capital A small with the B capital B small with both of them recessive, both recessive. اوكي يبقى دي بينك اند دي وايت. ناخد الجاميتس A capital B capital A capital B small وال A small B capital A small B small مع A small B small. I will found that in A capital with A small B small B small that the first one, A capital A small B small B small second one, A capital A small B small B small, A capital B A small B capital B small. هنا I find that there is a all of them هنا two white and the last one هي البينك. هنا يبقى ايه لان انا عندي هنا both of them the genes هنا ايه have a recessive genes while here have only one dominant in each gene. Okay, let's see the other one. This is the complementary gene. طب what about the lethal genes? The lethal genes بقى they have the lethal genes من اسمها lethal يعني something deadly, okay, make death occurs with these genes. The presence of these genes make death. Lethal genes. Lethal genes, they are genes which cause death of the living organism if they are present. Okay, يبقى lethal gene they cause death if they are present. بس مش present وبس. لا, they must be present in homozygous يعني pure state. لازم يكونوا in pure state. يعني ايه pure state؟ يعني either dominant state or recessive state. Both of them are pure. يعني إما A both of them are capital or both of them are small, dominant state. The lethal genes stop biological process inside the living organism at different ages. Okay, يعني كمان الليثال جين ممكن يوقف at certain age ال biological process فيكوز death بس بعد ما يكون الايه ال offspring already delivered. Okay, لكن the most of them cause death before delivery. يعني اول ما الجينز copulate with each other او present ان هم in pure state بيموت على طول الفيتوس. بيموت سوري الجنين inside the embryo inside the fetus of in the mother. Okay, before delivery. And some other genes يعني after delivery او after they appear some age كده they it cause this لان هي at certain age بتعمل stop the biological process. Kinds of the lethal genes, either dominant lethal gene or recessive lethal gene. The dominant lethal gene example عندي two example yellow color of mice in mice and bulldog race in cows. Bulldog trait أو race أو shape in cows. While the recessive lethal genes, the absence of chlorophyll in corn and infantile dementia in human beings. Okay, let's start with the inheritance of color trait in mice. هنشوف التريت in mice ايه الريشيو اللي طلع لي ومين فيهم die ومين فيهم continue their life. When two hypered and must be hypered yellow mice copulate, the ratio of the product generation is 1 to 2. Okay, where the pure yellow mice die because they carry pure lethal dominant pair of gene Y capital Y capital, which caused the death of mice in the uterus of the female. Let's see what happens. Okay, this is برضو again this contradict the Mendel's law of generation because when two hypered mice copulate, they produce yellow and gray mice at the ratio 3 to 1 according to Mendel, while they produce 2 to 1 اللي هي 2 yellow to 1 gray mice at ratio 2 to 1. يبقى هنا again this is a non-Mendelian law due to the interaction of genes. يلا نشوف in how can we copulate this hypered. لازم يكونوا hypered لان هم لو هم homozygous هيموتوا يبقى مش هيكون في copulation اصلا. اوكي لازم يكون hypered يعني ايه مختلفين. Y capital Y small with another Y capital Y small. وهنا the yellow color اليellow color هو الدومينant, so I will pronounce them as capital and small. والجراي color is the recessive. تعالوا نشوف ان yellow ان both two yellow mice وhybrid yellow mice يعني carry capital وsmall. Hybrid when they copulate with each other or when they crossed with each other اعطوني ايه. هنا الجميتس بتاعتي هناخد hard number بس كده ناخد y capital Y small in circles Y capital Y small in circles. Then we cross them Y capital Y capital Y capital Y small Y capital Y small Y small Y small. هنا when I found the two Y capitals with each other, this mice will die. المايس دولت هيموتوا in the uterus of the female. Okay, ليه? Because they carry the dominant lethal gene, both of them in pure state, a dominant lethal gene. While the other one, I found that two of them are yellow mice, yellow hyperd, and only one mice is the gray mice. Okay, فبالتالي I found the ratio 2 to 1. ليه؟ لأن 25% of the generation die. ليه؟ لأن هم has the dominant lethal gene. Okay. Okay, let's see بقى برضو again we can make it بقى the other one اللي هي the other bulldog race in cows the same برضو نقدر نعمل البولدوج مثلا race of cows B capital B small مع B capital B small I will found the same ratio. Okay, طيب يلا بينا نشوف the inheritance بقى لما تكون في pure state بس يكون recessive اللي هيموت هو الريسيسيف. When inheritance of chlorophyll absence trait in corn plant. When some corn plant self-pollinated, self-pollination قلنا يعني بيعملوا pollination in the same flower. Okay, the same flower هي اللي بيحصل لها pollinated with the anther and the stigma يعني pollen grains من الميل هتروح لل ovaries in the female in the same flower. دي self pollination. Okay, طيب when some corn plants self pollinated they produce white seedling which do not have chlorophyll. لقينا ان this seedling has no chlorophyll. These seedling grow for a short time. اهي هي كبرت بس for a short time. Then they wilt and die. Okay, this happens because of the pure recessive lethal gene C small C small. طب why I pronounce it or I write it with C small C small. Again we say that there is a dominant gene. الدوميننت بتاعي يعني الكلوروفيل presence. الكلوروفيل presence يعني C capital C capital. Okay, while the absence C small which is the recessive gene. When two recessive lethal genes aggregate together in the same individual, chlorophyll will not be formed. لما الاقي ان two recessive دول present in the same individual, the chlorophyll will not be formed. Then the chlorophyll دوت is very important لان هو gives the plant its green color and responsible for the absorbing of the light energy to make photosynthesis process, which is important to making the food for plants. Plants carrying C small pair are white and not able to perform photosynthesis process which cause their death. Let's see how can we write them. The green plant اللي هي C capital C small hybrid green both of them self-pollinate each other. Here I will الجاميتس بتاعتي one C capital and one C small, one C capital and one C small هناخد half the number يعني I will take each of them then I will cross them again C capital C capital C capital C small C capital C small C small C small هنا لقيت ان 3 of them اهي هنا 1 ال1 اللي عندي هنا 75% منهم green. One of them is pure green which is good يعني مش هيموت and two of them hybrid carry a recessive gene. Okay, يبقى 75% of the individual are green. Okay, while 25 only من السيدلينج 25% هي الوايت اللي هي recessive اللي هي will grow for certain time and then will die لأنه مش هيقدر يعمل photosynthesis. Okay, okay. The same برضو in the infantile dementia which is a برضو infantile dementia we can pronounce them as A capital A small. Okay, let's see the effect of environmental condition on some genes. The work of some gene is affected by the factors surrounding them. Example air, pollutants, lack of oxygen, radiation. أي واحدة من دول can affect the gene appearance أو the trait which appear because of this gene. Radiation بقى, lack of oxygen, air pollutants, and so on. Okay, example مثلا environmental factor, example light and temperature, برضو can affect gene appearance of the trait appearance. The study of factors affecting gene help us to avoid the risks results from them. The absence, for example, the effect of absence of light on chlorophyll trait. لو أنا ما عنديش already light فالchlorophyll موجود بس this trait will be affected by the absence of light. Okay, and then I will find that the formation of this, the chlorophyll, will need light. So if the absence of light, it will cause the absence of the chlorophyll, or the gene of the chlorophyll will not make its trait اللي هي الجرين color اللي هي absorption of mean of light. Okay, the gene responsible for chlorophyll formation in green plants needs light factor so that the effect of gene appears. عشان effect of this gene appears, I need light factor. The green plants cannot form chlorophyll if the gene responsible for it is absent. لو ما عنديش اللايت اوكي وانا عندي الجين اوف ذا كلوروفيل مش هقدر الجين دوت مش هيعمل لي التريت المطلوبه منه الايفكت المطلوبه منه. اوكي so even if it was put in light لو انا ما عنديش طب انا if I have no chlorophyll gene وحطيتها في اللايت مش هيحصل اي حاجه لان انا I have no I have no gene. Okay, this is the effect of light. Let's بقى ايه نعمل some give reasons and work together يعني answer some question. When two individuals different in one pair of hereditary traits لو هما two individuals different in one pair of hereditary traits copulate, the second generation ratio is 1 to 2 to 1 not 1 to 3. ليه؟ Why؟ لأن هنا because the gene of those different traits do not dominate over each other. لما شفت الريشيو ده عرفت ان هي ايه lack of dominancy يبقى بالريشيو اقدر احدد انا عندي ايه. اوكي ظهر لي another trait الاثنين interact with each other وظهر لي lack of dominancy هنا يبقى no one dominate over the other so they interact with each other forming new traits which appear in the second generation with the two opposite traits at ratio 1 to 2 to 1 not 1 to 3 as Mendel states okay in the first law of generation. Okay طيب let's make this. What happens when transfusion blood from a man of group AB to another one of group A. لو أنا عملت transfusion لمان of blood group AB عملت له عطيته to another one with group A إيه اللي هيحصل؟ هو الجروب A الجروب B ده AB يقدر يدي جروب يقدر يدي A؟ لا. ليه؟ لأنه هو هنا عنده انتي بوديز اللي هو انتي A اللي هو هيموته. Okay, this will break the red blood cells of the recipient اللي هو the person which have the group A. Okay, ليه بقى؟ Because his blood has anti B هو blood group A يعني عنده anti B of blood group A and when AB برضو عنده anti A and anti B when they transfuse to each other this will cause shivering for the body and chest pain, blueness and heartbeats and headache and then low blood pressure and he might die if the يعني no help take place. Okay. Let's see the other one. When an RH negative woman married to RH positive man with respect to the first and the second babies, what will happen with respect to the first and the second babies? When the woman becomes pregnant with her first baby, which is an RH positive, part of his blood transfers from him to his mother during delivery, which stimulates her immune system to produce antibodies للRH factor, the RH antigen. If mother wasn't given a vaccine after delivery of the first baby and become pregnant again, the another baby اللي هي RH positive baby will die. ليه؟ لأن ال RH blood transfer from the mother to her second baby ال RHA, ال RH antibodies. اوكي الانتي بوديز اللي هي اللي المذر كونتها نتيجه البريزنس اوف ار اتش بوزيتيف. Okay, so this will break up his red blood cells and cause him acute anemia and death. Okay, okay. Let's see بقى when two sweet plants with white flower whose genotypes are A small, B capital, B capital, and A capital, B small copulate. ايه اللي هيحصل في first generation and the second generation؟ هنعملها طبعا هناخد الجاميتس، يعني هناخد A capital مع A small و A capital مع A small هناخد only one of them، و A small مع B capital هناخد only one of them. both of them copulate هيبقوا A capital A small B capital B small and then crossed دي الفيرست generation 100% A pink color and then the other one اللي هي A capital A small B capital B small crossed with another pink color. هنكتب الجاميتس بتاعتي A capital B capital A capital B small A small B capital A small A small ونكتبهم A both one horizontal and the other vertical and I will ايه بقى اشوف them I will cross them هلاقي ان الجنريشن اللي طلع لي 9 pink flower to 7 white flowers. Okay, thank you guys and see you.